Look at a city like Boulder, Colorado. It's known for a few specific things: scenic mountains, college students, a fairly predictable political climate. But recently, it became ground zero for a highly unusual political rebellion against mass surveillance. A local resident named Will Freeman decided to sue the Boulder Police Department. He accused them of running an illegal mass surveillance program, and almost immediately, his lawsuit created an unexpected alliance. Progressive civil rights lawyers teamed up with conservative libertarians to back his case. They were all targeting the exact same piece of hardware. This is an automated license plate reader, or ALPR. Specifically, this one is made by a company called Flock Safety, and thousands of these black boxes are quietly going up on street poles all over the country. Flock Safety systems function as high-speed, AI-powered loggers. They record every plate that passes, documenting the time, date, and exact location. Over weeks and months, those individual data points connect, building incredibly intimate, detailed mosaics of where ordinary people go every single day. So how did a technology sold to suburban neighborhoods as a simple crime-fighting tool accidentally manage to unite the far left and the far right in a war against their own local governments? When ALPRs first hit the market, vendors sold them as highly localized solutions. A town might buy a few cameras, put them up at major intersections, and use them to automatically check passing plates against a local hot list of stolen vehicles. But in reality, those local cameras don't operate in a vacuum. They are networked together. The data they collect is uploaded to centralized servers, creating a massive cross-jurisdictional database that allows police to track a single vehicle's movements from state to state. The dragnet also extends to mobile units, where police mount ALPRs directly onto the roof of a police cruiser. This allows an officer to continuously sweep entire neighborhoods and log every parked car they drive past. Millions of people who are completely unconnected to any crime are having their daily routines recorded and stored for years. And this multi-state expansion relies on a massive, invisible loophole in the U.S. Constitution. If you look at polling data from the mid-2000s, during the George W. Bush administration, public opinion on surveillance was highly polarized. Republicans broadly approved of expanding domestic intelligence gathering, while Democrats strongly opposed it, fearing executive overreach. Yet by 2013, under Barack Obama, those numbers completely inverted. Democrat approval of surveillance programs spiked, while Republican support collapsed. It's a phenomenon known as the partisan flip. This volatility reveals that party loyalty is a fragile guardrail for civil liberties. If the rules of privacy shift based on who is in power, the only consistent protection is a legal floor that doesn't move. The founders intended for the Fourth Amendment to be that floor, specifically designed to prevent abusive general warrants by forcing the state to prove individualized suspicion to a judge. But the digital age created a workaround called the third-party doctrine. While police are blocked by a firm requirement to get a warrant to search your private files, the courts have ruled that if you voluntarily hand your information over to a third party, like a phone company or an app developer, you lose that expectation of privacy. Instead of going to a judge, government agencies can just go to the free market. They bypass the warrant barrier entirely by writing a check to private tech companies who have already collected your data. This is where consumer hardware comes in. Companies like Amazon Ring build massive networks of private cameras on front porches, and through various partnerships and police request portals, they create pathways for law enforcement to tap into that footage. By leveraging this doctrine, the government can legally outsource its surveillance needs to the private sector. When the sheer scale of this outsourced data collection became public, it triggered a rare reaction in modern politics, a simultaneous panic on both the left and the right. Progressives and civil rights advocates look at systems like Flock Safety and see a tool for social sorting. They argue these cameras disproportionately target marginalized communities and point to internal logs showing agencies like Immigration and Customs Enforcement using local ALPR data to track specific individuals for deportation. More recently, following the Dobbs decision, those same privacy advocates realized that a nationwide network of license plate readers can easily be weaponized to identify and track women traveling across state lines to access reproductive health care. Now, pivot to the conservative and libertarian view. They look at the exact same surveillance network and see an unfettered expansion of federal power, bypassing local control to monitor law-abiding citizens. To a strict constitutionalist, the ability to retroactively map a person's life means the government can effortlessly track who attends a weekend gun show, a homeschool co-op meeting, or a specific church service, creating a massive chilling effect on free association. These are entirely different ideological fears, but they arrive at the exact same conclusion. A digital general warrant is an existential threat to your civil liberties, no matter who you vote for. This shared realization is generating real friction. At the grassroots level, citizens are engaging in surveillance, watching the watchers. They're mapping camera locations themselves and organizing public backlash, which recently generated enough pressure to force Amazon Ring to abandon a planned integration with Flock Safety. And the pushback has reached Capitol Hill. A piece of legislation called the Fourth Amendment is Not for Sale Act was drafted specifically to close the data broker loophole. It was heavily championed by progressive Senator Ron Wyden. To get it passed through the House Judiciary Committee with a rare unanimous vote, Wyden built a coalition with staunch conservative lawmakers, including Senator Rand Paul. They proved that defending basic privacy rights can actually bridge the deepest partisan divides. The progressive libertarian convergence teaches us one vital lesson about technology. Surveillance infrastructure is politically neutral. It simply obeys whichever administration controls the system. The data collection tools built today to track the people you fear will inevitably be inherited by the next administration and redirected to track the people they fear. Defending the Constitution requires rejecting warrantless dragnets even when they target people you disagree with. Because if history is any guide, eventually those cameras will be pointed at you.